Hi, we're live on Fun Frolicking Friday.
Yay! I feel like you guys just saw me like making a really funny face. Haha, I hope it made you smile. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And if you are and you're really enjoying it, please do click the like or share this out with those you know or on your page. Much appreciated. So, we are here to dive into really deep topics. And we always add like a fun kind of element to it. And yeah, so today our topic is touch. And I think in essence, we kind of go here often, but we're going to really hone in. And I've been a touch practitioner and healer, artist, um, body worker, whatever you want to call it, for around 8 years. And touch is something that you could just talk about forever. You know, it's so deep, and there's so many ways that we can use touch, both with ourselves and those we connect with, um, to create more magic. And the awareness and creating, this is one of the things that I love and I get a little choked up about. Creating an internal mind body awareness to experience and share conscious touch, to know deeply and be able to speak and honor your hell yeses and hell nos, and to be able to pursue and ask for your hell yeses and say no. And in our world, as we were talking earlier, which we'll dive into more, maybe means no. That's just another little flipper I want to put out there. We'll talk about. And man, the world of yeses is really beautiful. And yeah, so I'm excited to jump into this with Karezza. She's like the queen of play. Um, and she brought some games to share with us, and I brought some little tools to share with you. And yeah, Karezza,
Yeah.
brings you here, loves.
Hi, everybody. I'm Karezza. I'm the creator and founder of the Intimate Playground. I work as an eco-conscious play, sex, and intimacy coach, helping bring people into a more orgasmic life, including inside and outside the bedroom, and looking at our relationships as this form of expansion and being able to evolve as a human being, and using play as a tool to get you to expand and evolve as well. So
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that one.
yes.
And so if I didn't mention, I'm Candace, and my business is Temple of Frolic. And those words, in essence, are the touch experience that I hope to help others have, and create in their life and experience. And so, like, temple for me would mean reverent, sacred. And in relationship to touch, seeing our bodies, both ours and everyone around us, no matter how much you don't like them and no matter what they did, no matter what you guys did yesterday or the day before, as reverent, as divine, as innocent. And then frolic is like that fun, playful. And another piece is that curiosity, that childlike wonder, like, ooh, what can we do? Or with the games and with toys and with our beautiful, brilliant mind. And yeah. And so to all of you out there, if you're watching now or you're watching later, what's your relationship to touch? Do you feel like you're super touch fluent? Like you feel strong in sharing your touch with others? And as far as getting your touch needs met or touching yourself, where are you? If you imagine there's a scale 1 to 10, you can even plug in a number like, oh yeah, I got this. It's a 10, and man, it's a 5. And and just put in, which thing we're talking about here. Or just touch as a whole. Some people are very touch avergent. And I mean, we have experiences sometimes in our bodies that create a disconnect for safety, the trauma body response, and the mind taking over and trying to create something else because what's going on in here is really hard. And so that's another common thing around not being in the body. And I wouldn't say, anybody who's touch avergent is, that's why. There's a million and one reasons. And yeah. How are you, you know what I mean? How are you with touch in your life these days?
Yeah, touch. I'm definitely touch deficient at the moment. Just because, touch to me from a partner is everything. It's really my love language. So it's really everything. Touch in itself. It's not just about touch, it's about connection. It's about feeling connected with someone. It's about emotion. It's about sometimes feeling a lot of different things, not just, pleasure, but sometimes anger or sadness or, doubts and things that come up as well. And allowing that and accepting that and acknowledging those feelings through touch. But it's also, I think sometimes when people go through, when their boundaries have been broken, that when they are touched, they're living through, these feelings as well may come up because they feel like they're reliving the past. And that even though this person that they're with or whomever it is, they are not the person that, that broke down, went beyond the boundaries. But there's something there that, in the memories of the body, maybe that hasn't been, released, that's still stuck there and that maybe needs to be let go of. In order to feel more, more pleasure and more yummy feelings as well.
To feel more alive in life, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I am one of those people. I do speak openly about my trauma body experience. And when I was 21 and just getting out of the trauma and the drugs and the alcohol and the violence, touch was not, it was just like, touch was a scary thing for this one. Intimacy, touch of any sort. It took me a while. And I would say, 8 years ago when I began my journey of exploring Tantra and conscious intimacy and kink, and really deepening my understanding of sexuality. It's like I found ways to take my power back. And the creating safe containers to, like you said, our brain and our body has these stuck memories.
Yeah.
And, we can do like sacred reenactment, or, just reimplanting new memories with touch, with intention, with words, with praise, with the power of our mind. Yeah. And, I am so touch deprived too. It's really sad.
Yeah.
But, I have a pretty strong relationship with touching myself, on a lot of different ways, both in, my relationship to light touch and my practice with them and everything I do with Jay there, as well as my own personal day-to-day self-care, especially when things are intense, when things are tough. I feel like you can go to your body for information, as well as you can recharge yourself. You can be your activator. You can be your healer. Yeah. And I think even when you do have someone, which yay, or more than one, or when you have people, it's still very important to have a relationship with touch with yourself.
Yes.
And for me, I can't, like, I love touch, but I can't do touch that isn't conscious or like sacred or intentional. Like, that's just something that I have a high value for. And I know that's not everybody's jam. Some people just want to be in the physical. And, some massage therapists are amazing because they understand the physical so well. But that's why some massage therapists I wouldn't be able to go into the sexual with. Yeah. Do we have anyone out there chiming in today?
Subhash Chandra said, "Divine power of touch, of touch."
Oh, it's grounding. I think also touch practices can be intimidating or vulnerable, because we do have a lot of touch trauma. We weren't really educated, many of us. It's not something that we're taught in schools. How do we know what we want or don't want? How do we communicate what we want or don't want? Yeah. So I just want to share a couple the little toys that I brought that I want to share. So, like, for me, I do like firmer touch. I love light touch. I love spiritual touch. And I love, like, I brought my fluffy bunny puppet. And goodness, I actually got this at a Tantra training in California, like, 6 8 years ago, whatever, with that intention, to do magic, like when you think of the White Rabbit, right? And that's what I think, like, oh, I'm gonna take you there. I just want to create magic. Like, your body is a wonderland. Um, and that's kind of the intention, I think, when I play with this one. Um, yeah, he's cool. And this one is it's the fur, but it also has what are like teeth from what's known as vampire gloves. And like they say, this rabbit bites.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so, with this, it's like it doesn't create, it's not going to hurt or create. You can use stuff like this without leaving marks, without injuring anyone. And for me, sometimes because I'm so heady, and I'm really good at, escaping, this kind of touch is really conducive to helping me get in a little bit
Sure.
firmer. Like, come on, Candace, get in that body.
Yeah.
I need that sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Oh.
Definitely.
Mm. And, I think, like right now, where I don't have any, I'm not feeling like I'm in a place of pursuing a lover or relationship,
Yeah.
not too available. I still, like, I have a friend that I can share, like, platonic, sacred, um, consensual touch. It's just hugging and cuddling. That's it. And, the other day I needed to cry big time, and just being held and being able to just bawl my eyes out and really be held and feel myself like falling apart, but not falling apart, like someone's holding me together, like, it's okay, you're okay, you're held, you're safe. um yeah, like a good bear hug can be really
Yeah.
good.
Oh
Actually,
yeah.
Scott Katanas of Love Coach Academy, which I gotta give a shout out for, and I'm so grateful. He's kind of the instigator of the creation of this show, like over a year ago now. Um, he was coaching me and a partner a couple years ago, and one of the things that he told my partner to do when energies were really high was to grab me and just hold me and like give me a good bear hug. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, it was powerful. It was really powerful.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I think also with touch, at least in my experience, I don't know if any of you out there or Candace you've experienced, but I find that when I'm looking or lonely, or and this is in the past, you go out maybe in search of, I don't know, like just wanting some intimacy in a safe way. And what happens usually is maybe you do meet up at the pub or at a club or whatever. And then, you go back, or maybe you chat and you exchange, and then you meet up another time. What I find is that people, that they automatically go into the sex bit before, even though they're not necessarily looking for sex, but they want to have the cuddling after. So they have to kind of settle for this in order to get that, rather than just asking, can you cuddle me or touch me, rather than just going, straight, to having sex and then kind of getting some form of intimacy that way.
It is, unfortunately, yes,
Yeah.
my experience as well, a commonality. And, maybe
Mm-hmm.
for women who aren't sex educators and don't embody sexual energy the way we do or
Yeah.
whatever, maybe this doesn't happen, like, um, and that's why I feel it's like, Sherry Winston has like this thing called the Pussies and the Puppies. And I feel like it's just like an excited little puppy, and it's everything is forgotten. Um,
Yeah.
Consciousness. It's totally unconscious. I don't think it's a
Yep.
like thought out action. This is
Yeah.
just like an unconscious, primal, societal dating, relating kind of norm.
Yep.
Is like, oh, we don't talk about it. We just do it.
Yep.
And we don't ask, you know?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And
Yeah.
how many people just like are mm, traumatized because of this culture. Um,
Yeah.
and the lack of communication and consent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then not having our needs met, not really like getting what we want in life. Like we said at the beginning, this is our life force energy. Like that's how I see
Mm-hmm.
sexuality.
Yep.
It's not just like a moment that, you do. And so like being in your body is like being an active participant with your life. On a whole on a different level. Instead of the mind just running the show. Um
Yeah.
and touch just and when you just think about it, if you guys just take a moment to
Mm.
remember maybe the last time you got an amazing massage, or you had an amazing touch experience with a friend or partner at an event, or that last amazing hug you got, or the difference between, handshake, the different kinds of handshakes. Um, mm, yeah. Is it about that time? Because it kind of like I think it goes in flow with where we're at in our conversation.
It's about like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We have about 5 minutes.
So I was thinking about it. It's like so. At halftime, we always introduce a little practice or game.
Yep.
So Karezza will be presenting it, and it felt very in alignment.
Yeah.
In what I was
Mm-hmm.
just sharing about being in your body. So yeah, I figured perfect timing. And if
Great.
all of you out there are able to take a moment and slow down so you can experience this, it won't be too long. Um,
No.
do it and let us know how it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I have a little tip or a little activity that I've learned from my trainings and workshops that I've attended to. And what I would ask everyone to do first is you can take something to touch yourself with, a cloth or a tickler or whatever you have, or just your hand. You don't have to have anything, but maybe it's it's easier to have something so you can really feel something on your skin. And then just, move it around, and then, be out of the moment and out of your body. So like focusing on something in your room, or just looking at things, or looking at the TV, or whatever is going on that's outside of your body, and just feeling that and what it feels like when you touch yourself. And you can move, or just leave your hand there, or move around, and just see how that feels for the moment.
I'm trying to be as distracted as I can. I don't know if I'm going to distract you guys.
Yeah. And you can try to move fast. You don't have to have slow touch as well. Whatever goes. So there's no right or wrong here. Just the experience. And then you can stop. Now we're going to try to get into the body, and really you can close your eyes, or focus just with your eyes open, not being distracted, and just being at peace, and see, and then touch your body with attention and awareness. As before, there was no awareness, but now think, or try to be in your body and be in your skin, and touch yourself with attention, and all the love and attention that you deserve as a human being. And maybe try to do some deep breathing as well. If you're having trouble staying in the moment, focus on the breath as well.
Or you could bring your gaze to the part of your body that you're connecting with.
Yeah.
That helps sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And just like look at it with deep appreciation and awe, childlike wonder.
Yeah. And then if you want to come back, yeah, so just putting it out there to see if people experience a different sensation between being distracted and being conscious and aware, and how difficult, or at peace you were with finding that balance, or finding that bit where you can be at peace, and where it's not at peace.
Mm.
So.
And you can write it in the box. I definitely, I definitely, there's a big difference. And um, when I'm paying attention, essentially.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm really being with my touch. Um, and I'm blind, just so you know, so if you don't know, guys. So I can't entirely see myself. So it takes a lot of work for me to even try. And that used to be a big thing for me. Like I usually spend a lot of time in mirrors, loving myself. Um, and it's a great practice. Like literally just taking your hands or some sexy gloves or a feather or whatever you want, and just like,
Yeah.
oh, I love you, body. Thank you, body. Oh, look at you, amazing knees. We've been so many places. We've walked. Oh my goodness, we have walked.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
I love you,
uh,
Daddy, for processing all the good food and the not so good food that I put in.
yes.
And yeah,
You
and you
know,
can play. And a good way to get to know your body with sensation is with
oh yeah.
yourself. You
Yeah.
don't have to go to like get special stuff. There's a game I did once with a partner before I had all these fixins. Um, we just grabbed 10 random objects from the house, just totally random. And then you each blindfolded one another, and you had to run that random object on the body and try to guess what it was. Um,
Ooh.
so one of the things he did was a watch, a metal watch, and he put it over my heart. And I had open heart surgery, and I had this total like flashback. I felt like metal clinking in my heart. And
Oh.
it's like it woke up that memory in my body.
Mm.
Um, yeah. And I remember the thing that I loved the most was just like a Kleenex tissue. It felt amazing. So you don't have to go buy
Yeah.
anything special. And do this with yourself if you're not feeling yet comfortable with someone else, and get to know your yeses and your nos.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. This
And
is definitely
yeah.
waking up like uh, some desire and inspiration. Um, yeah.
And I think when we learn to pay attention to touch with ourselves rather than being distracted by sounds and the TV or whatever is going around, maybe there's things in our minds that we can't, you know, get out, and it affects how we touch. That always remember that when you do touch, yourself, or when you do touch your partner, that that how where that they can feel it. So if you're touching your partner or a friend or just giving a hug, or doesn't have to mean sexual touching,
Mhm.
and you're not in your body or somewhere else, that they will feel that, they can sense that. And just that when we do put all our energy into touch, it's a very different experience for the receiver.
Mhm.
And
You
that's
change
why
someone's day and change someone's life by
yeah.
touching them conscious
um
with a
and
hug.
it's so important to be grounded, and so important to be in the body and do a dance, or go outside and for a walk, or do something to get out of the mind. Do something, meditate, whatever, So you can bring your focus into that moment, into exploring, into loving, into putting every part of your soul, of your essence, of your being into the touch. Because I mean, I've experienced touch where people are not there, and it's definitely a big problem. And it's like being, I don't even know how to, it's like, being half filled when you fill up a tank of gas, and you only fill it up halfway. I mean, it's not full, so it's not really gonna last that long, you know. And you
And
want it, you want the touch, you want to be there in the touch. You want to feel your partner or yourself or what, whomever.
and the other thing I was thinking, like, that similar to
Mm-hmm.
that feeling of someone not being present, to really
Yeah.
be conscious of, is if you are attracted to someone, if you're feeling sexual energy in yourself,
Mm.
a hug can transfer that energy. And so being conscious of, like, really communicating this stuff.
Yeah.
Or, just being conscious of where your energy is and how are you putting it on that other person. Do they want that energy? Or do they just want, like, a hug without all your ooh, ah, you know?
Yeah.
But a grounded, present, loving hug.
Yeah.
Um, Not a gropey hug, you know.
No.
There's a
No.
difference.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Man. Ugh. Yeah, learn. That's like, my biggest thing. Take some time to learn and explore yourself. And, like, you don't have to go to massage school to become a touch pro or master.
No.
Um, there's so many other teachers, like myself, and whole schools of touch art. A Thai massage is like one of my
Yeah.
favorites. And there's my Thai massage teacher actually, teaches to couples and, regular people. Um, Another thing I thought of that I want to share, when you talked about dance, is contact improv.
Oh.
So contact improv
Yep.
is something I kind of use with my massage and Thai massage, like using my whole body. So contact
Yeah.
improv is a style of dance where you and whoever, one other person or maybe more, are dancing, and throughout the whole dance, staying in contact with one another in this absolute beautiful divine flow. If you just, like, literally look up videos of, people doing
Yeah.
contact improv, you're like, oh my God, it's like they're making love. Like, when we talk about, when your touch needs are met and when touch feels good, like, I've had, there's few, like, I've had some amazing contact improv sessions and exchanges of
Mhm.
sexual energy, fully clothed and in a safe container, where you're able to express and flow within that energetically and enjoy the physicality without having to really, go into other dimensions. We didn't really vibe there. We vibed on the dance floor, but that's it.
Yeah.
You were great on the dance floor, but not off. And that happens. That's why it's like, uh, getting clear with ourselves and finding those places we can explore. I'm now, like, I'm inspired. I want to, like, crawl around my house like a cat and, like, do contact improv with my wall and the door and the floor.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Mm. What time is it, love?
It's 1:40.
Okay. So we don't have many people chatting with us today. I don't know where we're even live right now. We're having some technical difficulties with getting our
Yeah.
video in all
Well,
the places.
Bliss RH said hello.
Yeah, Bliss, we're gonna get you on the show sometime. So just so you know, yeah, Karezza Bliss will be on the show sometime.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been having some amazing conversations with her. And yeah, yeah. I don't know if you've been watching the show, Bliss, at all, but I'd love to hear how, whatever you've seen has landed on you. Just dropping in, seeing what feels super vital and important to share. Mm. So, like, the other thing I feel right now, like, usually there's all these events and workshops where I go and I go where I create and teach all this and get my touch needs met. So, like, we're all kind of at like in a weird place with this, but
Sure.
we can still like create virtual or one-on-one explorations and finding safety and the sweet spot. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, everyone
Mm.
has like we all have
What?
our own boundaries and needs. Oh, what was that? What were we
Oh
gonna?
no, you can continue if you want.
Um, I was saying boundaries and needs and how we
Mhm.
all have our own, and they also are subject to change every few moments.
Yeah.
Um, And so it's like, even if you did something and this kind of touch was okay at one point, it's always good to check back in and see,
Yeah.
and ask. So, man, for me, like, I'll never forget the first time somebody asked me before they touched me intimately.
Wow.
And I know many of us have had a lifetime of experiences of people just doing it, and not
Yeah.
asking. And for me, it's about like the power of being able to say yes, please, or no, or yes, but I want it like this and only here and only for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, we can do that. And some of us have never been given permission to be that fine tuned with like, oh, this is what I want, and saying no to what we don't want. Um, yeah, for me, it's a big deal, like having someone ask. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And I think one of the big reasons people, I think fear. I think there's a lot of fear about asking and not receiving, and not and fearing that if I ask my lover or my partner or partners or friend or whatever, that they'll say no to what I requested. And then what do I do with that as well?
Mm,
Because maybe they can't do it at the moment because they're having issues or traumas, or and that's their boundary. Oh, like, can you touch me here? But I don't feel comfortable. I'm sorry, I can't.
mhm, mhm,
So you know, you also have to understand the other person as well a little bit. And maybe, you know, see where there's a middle ground, you know, as well. So both of you are really doing it because at a place where you feel comfortable,
Yeah.
as well.
It's like, wouldn't you prefer that the person you're touching is enjoying it?
Yeah.
Yeah, be very conscious to not touch just from your desire. It's okay. You know, so I tell people, like,
Yeah.
I understand you want to touch and you have an appreciation and there's something you're getting out of it, but
Mm-hmm.
be very sure to not just take and to
Yeah.
give with your touch. Thank you for sharing your body with me. Wow, your body feels so good. Uh, it is so much more reciprocal and nourishing, and the person will want to receive your touch.
Yeah.
It's not just like you're taking from them, you're giving. And when someone is given the opportunity to say yes or no, it's just such a powerful gift.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
And yeah.
definitely.
Mm, it is hard. I get it. I have not always been strong in saying, clearly, like, no,
Mm.
and like,
Yep.
um, it took, I've been through lots of training. And it's taken me a lot of training, a lot of parties, a lot of messing up.
Yeah, it's okay.
Ah, yeah, but
Yeah. I mean,
I love touch and I love
yeah.
helping others find their love for touch. So, um, and the power of it, um,
Mm.
the real need for education around it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, big time.
And also being able, I think things they don't teach is like how to communicate what we don't want, what we do want, what our boundaries are, um, around touch, around sex, around anything in that mode. And once we know, you know, once we have our boundaries met as well, then maybe we can, it's not, a boundary is not always there forever. Maybe. Well, for most people, it's never there always. But maybe once that is, once we can say no in that moment, and the person on the receiving end can hear it, actively listen and really take it in into themselves and honor that, then it allows you to grow and maybe expand and be more open to maybe receiving that in the future
Mhm.
and turning it from a no to a yes or maybe.
Or, yeah, leaving it as it is, respecting it, or you can ask,
Yeah.
do you have any yeses to connect with me physically and touch
Yeah.
and whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, that honoring people's no is just so important and not trying to manipulate them because you want them to be a yes, letting them
Yeah,
find their own yes.
that's
Um,
true.
and it can be a mutual exploration. Sometimes boundaries are needed where the boundary is touch.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
And speaking on boundaries, I actually found a game out there for I think it's for friends and lovers. So I forget the name. I think it's called the consent game. And it gives you cards where it says, like, you can touch, I don't know, kiss or massage the inner thigh or spank the butt, something like this. And it gives you two cards that say, I do consent or I don't consent to it. And maybe, I would say maybe. I don't think there's a maybe, but I think maybe should be added to that. But for that game, it's only I do or I don't. And it gives you fun little games or little actions that to take, and then you can figure out what you feel in that moment, because your every moment changes. So maybe today you do consent or tomorrow you don't. So it's really, it gets you to play along with boundaries. Yeah, so I can share the website if anybody wants it, and is interested in learning more as well.
Yeah, what I like about it is like it takes away that whole like it just takes a little bit of the edge off of that fear of someone saying no. It's a game of consent, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can start there and then maybe you create your own.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, I would love a massage. I need to find a massage therapist that comes to my home.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite is Rolfing as well. Like Rolfing and Thai massage. They're just so powerful.
Ooh. Wow. Beautiful. Yeah.
Meow meow. I'm feeling a little complete, and I don't
Yeah,
know
it's
what's right
okay.
there, but do you
It
have
is.
anything else you feel like we want to share, or is there anything else out there we want to drop into?
I think I've said everything that I wanted to say. I can't think of anything else at the moment that's dying to get out. So,
Mm. When you say dying to get out, I'm like, oh, I'm dying to get some touch.
yeah.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure as always, Karezza, and I hope that this added some opportunities for expansion and connection to all of you out there to really enjoy being in this body and to expand your touch knowledge and skills and like make an impact, a good
Yeah.
impact.
And being touched changes the world, and it changes ourselves. And always remember that, just be, you don't it doesn't always have to be soft touch. Just because you want it a little bit rougher does not make it right or wrong. That everybody's different, and everybody's needs are different to get into the body, and what feels pleasurable or what feels good to them. So
Yeah. So have fun, everyone. And if you do decide to explore, if we inspired any touch explorations, please do, send us a message or come back and let us know how it was here. I always love knowing and hearing about how our shows touch you and how this touched your touchiness.
And Have a great weekend,
Yeah.
everybody. And thank you for listening.
Mm.
Yeah. Bye.